Hi there. We're going to look at the Mjx X101 quadcopter. I actually bought this from a child as his first drone. Didn't realise it was as complicated to fly as it was, but had lots and lots of fun with this thing. Didn't realise they could go so high as a toy and so quick as well. Turns out this is one of the more powerful brushed motor ones. The speed that it can take off at, I mean, it's just amazing. But through playing with this one, I eventually bought my own big one. I actually have a video up of that on the channel. Now this one here comes with a camera. It's a 2 megapixel or a 0.3 megapixel 720p camera. And to start with, we couldn't actually get the camera working. So we really had no FPV, which was a bit of a downer. Turned out all we had to do was not take the app off the Google Play Store, but actually go to the mjxtoys.com and go onto their site and actually download the FPV that matched my version. Like, I use a Samsung Galaxy S6, so I had to choose the Android app for the C4008, and yeah, instantly, bang, it worked. We'd already bought a second camera just to try. We also had the same issue with that, it wouldn't work, so we're stuck between dud cameras and do they actually work. And yeah, as soon as the first one tried, we tried hooking up the second one instantly. So yeah, if you're not having much luck trying to hook up these cameras, like some people have stated that they can't see the name of the camera showing up on their Wi-Fi list, I don't think it'll work for that. But if the name's shown up in the Wi-Fi list, you get the app up and you tap monitor and you get nothing, chances are it's a Google Play Store one you've taken. So try mjxtoys.com and get the FPV software that actually matches the device you're going to be using. Now, this drone is amazing. The only downside I have to this drone, I'll say it now, battery life. Battery life is rubbish. You get this thing up and going, you have a couple of minutes flying around, you get comfortable and it's blinking already. But once you get the hang of it and it's up and flying as soon as you start it, it's a bit more fly time you got, but that's nothing. Battery upgrade will cure that instantly. So, excuse me. We've tried distance flights with this, and in the park we had to fly and we got right to the end, not a problem, and it came back, not a problem. We tried the manual return thing. A couple of times we tried it. The first time didn't do nothing. The second time it flew back at us, and then I took control of it from there. Never actually left it to see if it continued to go past us or if it would stop. I stopped it myself, but I'd seen other videos of people saying, look, it doesn't work and don't trust it, but the one time it definitely came back in the direction it was supposed to without any maneuverability from me on the controller. Now, the controller, decent controller. Got all the settings you need. These things here, clip down, has this as your throttle stick. If you clip them up, it has this as your throttle stick. I've wrote down little stickers just to remind us which is which, in case things get out of control pretty quick. It's my 7-year-old kid's drone, so for him it's easy visual targets to see if he needs any help. The power, we were running the power on this at half throttle. Half throttle and it was bags of power. We've had it up full throttle a couple of times to check it out, and yeah, it's a good little receiver. But I've seen people doing another range mod on this, taking this little plastic chunk out, changing it for a proper aerial, soldering it onto the circuit board and getting mega range with it. So I'm definitely looking at a battery upgrade. It's a 1200 milliamp, and I've seen people sticking compact 2200 milliamp lipos in it, so I don't see a problem. It'll fit. There is a little cage underneath, turn it around. Up in here's where the battery goes. I still got it connected like a noob. But yeah, battery comes out and it's tiny, absolutely tiny. Stick a good compact 2200 milliamp on there and you're getting at least 10-15 minutes fly time. But yeah, the camera comes with its own shock resistant little gimbal there, which is pretty good considering the price of all the drones and what came with what. I wouldn't have expected. I would have expected just a little cheap camera, and the camera on it itself on like a single axis gimbal that you can aim where you want it to be. But yeah, had good fun with it. The distance on it was great. We took video on FPV. For the 720p, footage was okay. It wasn't amazing footage, but for a first time FPV, yeah, that definitely works. And I've only just started discovering myself with my own drone, like kind of scary to fly to start with, struggling out which way it's facing and getting a bit panicky. See if you try FPV, like proper goggles on, it's different. It's so much easier. It's like driving a car. You're holding the controller and just it's so much easier to navigate and control it, seeing where you're going. There's none of this turning back on yourself and left is right and right is left and you know up is back and back is forward. It's none of that stuff. You just continue to fly with normal controls. You just, as you're going up, have a look behind you, check the place out, recognize what it looks like from above, turn around, find a focal point in the horizon and go for a fly. When you turn back around every now and then, have a visual look at where you took off from. Try and notice a group of trees or, you know, something that's visually there that you can recognize quite quick. And it's a good laugh. Very fast as well. The little park we had it in, we put it into the fast mode and wow. And the flips, the 360 flips that it does, click a button in a direction, instant flips. Kinda cool. There's a setting on it so that when you're going forward, full stick forward, it'll automatically flip for you anyway, so once you get onto the speedy mode, it's actually quite an enjoyable copter. But yeah, absolutely needs a battery upgrade. Now, on saying all that, people might wonder how much weight can it carry. I had that camera off it when it wasn't working and slapped a GoPro up there with, well, it wasn't even a GoPro, it was just an action cam, just a Chinese copy action cam, but heavy, all in its waterproof housing, everything, and stuck it to the bottom with a 3M tape onto that stability mount, and that thing flew fine. Lifted up easy with that thing on it, didn't struggle at all. So yeah, I can definitely vouch it'll lift a GoPro or an action cam just like it. I just imagine that the battery did run out quick. It was like 5 minutes fly time with the GoPro on it and it was done, blinking away. But with this camera on it seems to get about 7.5 minutes. So with a battery upgrade we're looking at least possibly 10 to 12 minutes minimum fly time, which is quite decent for FPV, for each battery anyway. And then we got the chance of doubling up on the battery, so, and using the super light camera, so it'd be like having a GoPro on it but still having a super light camera on. Anyway guys, that's the little look. I will say these blade guards, they've lasted. A couple of them are cracked and popped loose from the housing. We've kept them on just now just to try and save the first set of blades, but they've cut into the ground and a bit dirty, but absolutely fine, no cracks, splits or chips. But yeah, it's taken a couple of heavy poundings off the ground, and those legs, like, I thought those legs were a bit flimsy. They're kind of sturdy, but see when it hits the ground, they're like suspension. But yeah, this is a good little drone. I've seen a few videos saying they were flyaways, and Yeah, there was one time when the batteries, the first set of batteries we put in the controller, we'd used it for about, must have been about 7 or 8 flights, and we just started flying, and my boy was saying it's not coming back, it's not coming back. So I grabbed the controller and I was steering it back at us, and it wouldn't come back. It wasn't really flying away, it was just moving with the wind, but it wasn't reacting to the controller. And I ran closer to it, and then it started reacting, but it really slowly. So we stuck in a fresh set of batteries and there was no issue. It was really, in fact, yeah, it felt much better. It was a lot twitchier, so we reckon the batteries were dead in the controller, or going dead. So maybe rechargeables are the best bet, and boosting them before you take them out, so you know you got a full set every time. But as for irrational behaviour or just taking off, never once. Really good drone that. It's what got me into getting my Hubsan H501S. If you're interested in drones and don't want to pay the price of a high-end DJI Phantom, that I wouldn't say this one, but I would definitely say the Hubsan. Definitely. Well, thanks for checking out, guys, and we'll get a few videos up of this thing doing its 360 flips at the touch of a button. So I'll see you for now, guys. Thanks a lot. Bye.